Hello, my name is Lonzo Caves, and I am excited to have the opportunity to present to you my presentation about decreasing enrollment at our university. Over the past few years, we have seen a drop in our enrollment, just like the nation has seen a drop in student enrollment in just about all the colleges and university, and we have not um, hurt as badly as others, but there is a decrease in our enrollment, which we need to address. This presentation is going to investigate the following topics: the current college enrollment trends that's across the country, and also what's going on here, reasons associated with the drop in our enrollment, and the actions that we should take to reverse the trend of decreased enrollment. The question that we really need to answer for ourselves is, why are students not going to college? And more importantly, why are they deciding not to come to our college? Are they weighing that work versus college weight? Are they deciding, you know what, college is not as worth it anymore because it's so expensive? Or am I getting a really good job out of high school, so I don't need to go to college? We need to identify what those reasons are. US college enrollment drops and where the declines are since 2010. There are over 812,000 fewer students in college overall. If our numbers were that high, we would not be having this discussion. But nationwide, that's a big number. There were 466,000 fewer students at for-profit college, and there were over 820,000 fewer students at community colleges. So you've got this huge number of students not going to for-profit colleges, which we are, and you've got an even larger number not going to the two-year colleges, which are a lot less expensive. This source is the National Center of Educational Statistics. But where's the decrease exactly? Well, this table that's presented by the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center, it says estimated national enrollment by sector and intensity level, which is, Title V degree granting or Title IX degree granting institutions. Across all sectors, you're able to see about a 1.5% change from year to year. Okay, that's from 14 to 15 to 16. But you do see highlighted in green, the 4-year public has not decreased, stayed relatively the same, but they had really about a 1% increase, 0.2% from 2015 to 2016. But then when you start looking at the 4-year private nonprofit and the 4-year for-profit institutions, you start seeing some decreases. The private nonprofit has not been a huge decrease. They were 1.5% increase in 2014. You had a 0.5% increase in 2015, but then they saw their first real decrease in the fall of 16, which is a 0.5%. However, the part-time students, they've actually seen a decrease of 3.1% from 2014 to 2015, and a slight, smaller decrease. But once you get to the for-profit, which is where we start seeing the impact at our college, at our institution, is you have a negative or a 4.9% decrease in the fall of 2014, a 15% decrease from full-time, and a 9% decrease for part-time for the 2015 year, and even more, a 17.5% for full-time and an 8.5% decrease for the fall of 2016. That tells me there are warning lights going off everywhere, because we have felt some of those same numbers at our school, and we've got to find out how this is happening, what we can do to stop it, and what changes we need to make to bring kids into our college, into our institution. So the question is, why is college enrollment decreasing? Well, our cost of college continues to rise. You got our professors that need to make more money, our resources, we are integrating more technology, so our costs continue to rise. We're building our infrastructure, we're adding new buildings, we're upgrading our food capacities, we're upgrading the dorms, all things that require more money. So the student cost rises. And then the other side of it is better job market is available for high school graduates. They're graduating high school, they're able to get jobs making 9, 10, $11 an hour, sometimes even more. And they're really asking themselves, do I want to go in debt with a student loan paying from $15,000 to $100,000 for the next 30 years? Or do I want to get a job now and maybe go to part-time, college a little bit down the line, but maybe I might get a job to where I can establish good credit, good wealth, and not have to worry about college. Students are going deeper in debt as tuition grows faster than incomes. That's a concern for a lot of people. If you look at the rise of the orange dots over, the past 20 something years, from 1992 to 2014, you see for 4-year public tuition fees only, they've risen over 100%, in that time span. Now, when you look at tuition and room and board, it hasn't risen that much, but about 75%. When you look at the 2-year tuition and fees, you're looking at a slight increase of about 52 to 55%. And then once you get to your private, we've had a steady increase in tuition really since 1992. It's constantly gone up, but that does put a strain on families. Now we consider what students and families borrow to make up the difference, because they try to make their payments, they try to pay. However, they do have to subsidize with their own tuition or with their own student loans if they can't afford it. But you can look at the bottom graph and you see where the students are getting their loans subsidized from. You got the federal loans, the unsubsidized and the subsidized. You got the Parent Plus, the Grad Plus, the Perkins and other federal loans, and then the non-federal loans. And those private loans, those are the ones that really get you, the private loans, because they don't really allow you to consolidate. And that makes it difficult for some of these families. Attending our university and what we want to build for our university, we've got to ask who is not actually going to college anymore, or what students are starting to not come. But when we look at the high income students, they've seen the lowest percentage drop since 2008, which is 81.9 to 78.5%. Those are the students that have decided to they peaked right there in 2008, 2009. However, since 2013, they have started to kind of fall off. Now, when you look at the low income students, they've seen the significant drop since 2008. You're looking at really 55.9% drop to 45.5%. And when we talk about who is who here, the recent high school completers refers to individuals ages 16 to 24 who graduate from high school or completed a GED test during the calendar year. Low income refers to the bottom 20% of all family incomes. High income refers to the top 20% of all incomes, and the middle income refers to the 60% in between. Notice that middle income section really hasn't seen as large of a change as the low income and the high income, but they have seen some change. Okay, here's some resolutions to the decreasing enrollment. All right, for our school. One, we've got to identify our students with high satisfaction scores. That comes down to us, offering surveys to the students to find out what are they satisfied with. And so we've got to find out, are they satisfied with the colleges or the classes we have to offer? Are they satisfied with our professors that we have teaching the courses? Are they satisfied with our curriculum? But they've also got to be satisfied with their earning potential after they graduate from our university. They've got to be satisfied with the food, with our dorms. We've got to analyze all of those areas that really we feel like we do well as the areas that we're not doing well. Find the highest scoring areas, and then identify the majors and the disciplines that these students represent. By identifying these majors and disciplines, we're able to see what the stronger students or what the satisfied students are looking into. For example, you get students that might really enjoy our business program. You might get students that really enjoy our STEM program, the science and technology and engineering fields. You get students that really enjoy our nursing program. Those are the students that we need to start attracting and recruiting a lot heavier But then not just recruiting those particular students, but finding the areas they're coming from. So based on the data that we have, we start to look for the key regional markets where these students can come from that will succeed and be satisfied. So, for example, those areas might be Houston, because in that area they really have a strong STEM program in their public and private schools. We might look at California, Southern California to be specific, because they may really have a strong nursing, emphasis in their high schools in that particular area where a lot of kids go into nursing. We might look at Chicago, because that's an area where business is the focus in the high schools and the kids want to become business leaders. So those would be three key areas that we may not have really advertised in previously, but we need to up our advertisement there. And that is going to assist us in bringing those students into our school. Host high school counselors in the selected markets for fly-ins. This is another thing that I believe would help, because now if we bring the counselors into the school, then they are going to be our advocates once they go back to their schools. The high school students are really, create or develop bonds and relationships with their counselors. And if the counselors are promoting our university, our college, then those kids are going to want to come here. So we bring their counselors in, we fly them in, we put them up for the evening or 2 nights, and we take them all around our campus. We let them interview our professors. We let them interview students. We let them interview our guidance counselors and let them buy into what we are doing. And lastly, we want to increase the advertisement in the key regional markets to expand university recognition. Okay, how do we do that? We take that San Francisco or that Southern California focus. We take the Texas, Houston. We take Chicago, and we go into the movie theaters. We go into the high schools. We go onto the billboards, and we advertise. During the previews. Okay, we take time at the college or at the high schools and the college fairs, and we focus on attracting the students that are going to be strong in nursing, that are going to be strong in our STEM programs, that are going to be strong, in our business school. Okay, those are the 3 focuses we want to take, because we're strongest in those, and the kids that are most satisfied are strongest in those areas. And by attracting those students, then we're going to continue to see our enrollment rise, because we have more of a strategic focus, not just looking for students of all ages, all backgrounds, but we want those particular students that are going to be successful in our program. I really hope this is helpful for you in deciding on which program we're going to do or how we're going to increase our enrollment. Thanks for listening. And here are my references. Some really good stuff out there if you want to do some more research on your own. But thank you for your time. God bless you, and have a great evening.